So I'll start with Ellie, who was one of my MFA students from last year. I'm very proud of her, and you know, your works look absolutely fantastic. I'd have to say commanding, and in terms of their scale, their technique, and also their commentary on cultural issues. The East meets West, so to speak. So this whole issue of diaspora and post-colonialism really came out in the works, and it's so good. What I also like about your paintings, they have a confidence about them, so they're not overworked. You can almost say that some of them are unfinished, and there's a real art to the unfinished painting, and you've got that. I really enjoy looking at your pencil lines and the way you kind of mapped out the work in particular. So, Ellie originally came from Iran, and particularly the Bختیاری tribal group in particular in southwestern Iran, which is a nomadic group. And it must have been such a different place to grow up in contrast to modern Sydney. So it's really interesting you've bridged that gap. I'm wearing a lovely little example of Bختیاری textiles at the moment, which I absolutely adore. And in a way, the whole thing about painting and textile making comes out in your work as well. So some of the works have a woven quality, while other works appropriate the textiles of the Bختیاری group. So the works really represent an unexpected link and interaction between tradition and modernity. So this combination, I think, really works well with regard to the way in which Ellie has resolved her cultural experiences and her cultural identity. Many of the patterns are symbolic. They relate both to abstraction, but also narrative stories and experiences. And in fact, the interesting thing about many of the abstract works in the show is that they're particularly a form of symbolic abstraction. There's sort of a myth that abstraction and representation are oppositional. I think in your case, Ellie, you've got some very interesting, what we might call representational forms of abstraction that represents things symbolically, which is absolutely great. So yes, in terms of hybridity and diaspora, you've really built a bridge between cultures in a kind of unexpected way, which I think is fantastic. One of the works that really surprised me when I was getting to know Ellie was her work where she dressed in traditional Bختیاری costume and walked along a beach. I'm not sure if it was Cronulla Beach, but it was somewhere in the southern suburbs, and I thought it was very brave and very daring to do that. And in fact, that large one there with the white border is a representation of that performance. So it's really a combination between painting and performance, which works well in that painting because it really conveys movement, but also that cross-cultural thing. You know, the beach is so symbolic of Australia and Australian culture, and you've managed to really bridge two cultures there.
Well, thank you very much, and I apologise I was a few minutes late, but I did hear the explanations of the painting, so I was very impressed, and I was going to say exactly the same thing. Not. It is a pleasure, and can I congratulate Ellie on your wonderful work and your students and disciples, Annie and Monica, and for what a wonderful exhibition this is going to be in Parliament House. And can I say, it's a great tribute to you guys that we're having this exhibition, because let me assure you, there's lots of people that want to exhibit their works in Parliament House, but very few people actually get to do it. So I think it's just a sensational achievement on your part. Nothing to do with me. I only have to sign the form. So I'm very proud. And in fact, I'm very proud of you guys, because this is the first time I've ever actually had the privilege of to say that some of the people that work in my community actually are in Parliament House. And of course we have the oldest Parliament House. So I think you three, we should give you a round of applause for your wonderful work. So welcome everybody to Parliament. I hope you enjoy your time here. Please feel free to come back anytime, and I wish our three wonderful artists Ellie, Annie and Monica, all the best for this wonderful exhibition, and I'm sure this is only part of the journey, and that you'll have another part of your journey will be so sensational. So thank you very much. It's a real privilege to be here today. Thank you.